Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the West Coast versus Fremantle derby, going through how it was, I guess, another smashing win from Freo. I mean, they kicked something like 17 goals straight, and it was after West Coast got up to a 14-0 start. It ended up being 134-19, and it was something like, I'm guessing, I want to say it was something like 4 points to about 110 in a span, as Freo kicked something like 17 goals straight. Then I think West Coast kicked 2 goals straight again. And then Freo again scored another 3 after that. But anyway, before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So as you can see here, West Coast, Duggan 95, showing that he was a really good pick actually this year. I don't know how I decided on Duggan being a decent pick in the first place. He didn't show up, but in that middle half of the season when there was a lot of injuries and stuff like that, just to have a underpriced guy that was sort of a really good pod going off was really good. Annoying that I had to, I guess, trade him out because of that suspension, but if he wasn't suspended, then he would have been a really good guy to just have the rest of the year, as he's performed relatively well. Witherden 91, he's going to be priced, I reckon, around 80 or so, and it really depends on what the go is with West Coast in terms of how they recruit in the off season, whether he gets that spot down back or whatever, or they decide to draft someone. I know that they're going to draft Daniel Curtin, but I'm pretty sure that he's a forward, a key forward, so I don't think that's going to help there. So it looks like Duggan and Witherden are going to be able to kick around the back unimpeded, I guess, with Hunt as well, and maybe McGovern's still there. But we'll see the position they want, I guess, Jimby to play when he comes back next year, but we'll have to wait and see on that one in the preseason games, etc. But I think Witherden is one to, I guess, flag and just watch. Then you have McGovern 77, Gaff, Foley, O'Neill put a tag on Sarong for an 86. So Sarong's been up and down, but I still think he's fine, to be honest with you. He was almost the better pick over Brayshaw this year, I guess. They're both pretty much gone, I think, 108. But, yeah, both really good options. I would have liked to have probably had Sarong throughout the season, as I think he's done better over the larger stretch. It was just in the first half of the year, I think, Brayshaw was beating him out, and that's why I ended up going Brayshaw over Sarong, and it actually turned out to not be the best move since the bye, except for like this week. I think Sarong's outscored him 7 out of 8 or something like that. Tim Kelly 71, Hewitt 67, showing something. So he could be a mid-pricer to look at if we look at Hewitt. So both the Hewitts could actually be in people's sides next year. 12 games, 45. I'm liking the look of that, as that'll be priced around about 400k. And say he does go, he has averaged 61 in the last 3. Say he does go in 12 times 45.5 plus 122. Say he averages 60 in the last 2. Divide that by 14. You're looking at a guy priced at around about, given the magic number of last year, 422,000, which I think is a pretty good price for him, as when he gets given the, I guess, keys to the midfield, which he should do, honestly, at this point, I think we could see a rise to Hewitt of potentially even somewhere up to that. I think he has the capability to get to average 70, 75 next year, and that'll be plus 30. But you could look at players potentially that are going to give you that bigger boost in the opening round. So it will be depending on how Hewitt plays in the, I guess, pre-season to see his role and stuff like that. But I think he is progressing really well. Jones, Yo, Petreski, Seaton, Long, Rodham, Cripps, Allen, Bailey Williams, Jack Williams. Apparently he was, I believe he was the one that, I believe he was he was either the sub, or he was going to be, I guess, the guy coming onto the field. Or it might have been, you know what it was? He was going to be the sub, I'm pretty sure. And then he came onto the field when he came into the 23 or the 22 when Hoff got left out late. And then that meant that he was playing, and then Greg Clark was sitting on the bench, and he played the last quarter, but he was apparently like eating food about a minute out from the game, and then had to go into basically his warm up, etc. As he was actually playing, because Hoff got ruled out medically with about a minute to go when they were literally taking the bounce. Moving on to Fremantle. Clark 114. I think he is definitely an option. It just depends whether he's going to take that sort of that role where he gets a lot of marks, or whether he's going to take that like Sard and Blakey role where he's that runner in the from down back, and he doesn't really get as much ball. Schultz 112. He was huge. Johnson 111. So obviously once you trade Johnson out, he starts going nuts. We'll see what he is priced at next year and what the midfield looks like, because he could be given the keys to the midfield and priced at 55. He could easily go 85, as he's shown he has that potential. You can just see this this sort of run here. And he's shown that he can score those 80s, 90s, etc. It's just whether he consistently gets a run. Cox 104, Jackson 103. Would have liked a little bit more from Jackson, only a 40-point second half, it looks like. 33, and then, so that would have been 66, and then he got 40 in the second half, so something's off there with the scoring, as he got 103, but it's on here as 106. But, I mean, it was still a really good game from Jackson, and lucky that I brought him in, as he was one of the best, I guess, targets to bring in as that F6 role. Young, 102, he just had a big second. I'm interested to see his role, as he could be a really good value selection, I guess, next year, priced at around that low 800s if he gets that midfield role. Brayshaw, 101. Good again. Aish, Sarong 86. Well, I guess Brayshaw did his job basically. Sarong, just a huge second, but other than that, did nothing. I think he got tagged by O'Neill. Henry 84, Swiskowski, Wagner 79. So his average is so inflated that I wouldn't even be bothering with him. Amos, Luke Jackson 78. So glad that I didn't go for him. Sturt, Tracy, Walters, Pierce, Warner. O'Meara 49, that's really bad from him, so I wonder if he's going to be shuffled out of the midfield. Erasmus 48, and I believe he came on as a sub and got to 48, which is a pretty fair effort, given that he played basically 1 1/3 quarters, as I think he could be the option next year, Erasmus, as I believe he is averaging around about that 55 or so. Yeah, 56, 57 through 12 games, so he could be the option, especially if he gets a couple of sub games and scores well, like quickly off the bench, and gets that role to start next year. Frederick and then Corbett subbed out of the game. I don't know if it was tactically or injury, as I wasn't particularly watching this game. But anyway, that is the video there, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video, which is a recap of the Sunday games. If I go to here, it is the Hawthorn versus Western Bulldogs game, in which Hawthorn basically helped out about 6 teams. St Kilda versus Richmond, and how Port won against GWS to help out, I guess, the Swans, as well as a lot of other teams in that battle for those, I guess, last 3 spots in the 8. Anyway, we'll get to those tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then. Bye, guys. Goodbye.